Hi, Mike the Sales Doctor here with Diagnose and Prescribe. Thank you again for watching. Today is Friday, so I'm going to wrap up my day here in the office and had a monster sale about 2 hours ago. So I have a little Cheshire cat smile on my face, and that went really well. So I want to talk about, the last video was on uncertainty, and that we are living in a society now where our prospects, they're uncertain about tomorrow and their family, health issues, all kinds of stuff, gas prices, financial problems, struggles, grocery prices, you name it. They are very uncertain. And so, because I have this analytical, contemplative, peel back the onion mind, I was thinking about the entire Diagnose and Prescribe sales training that I do, and how for many years I would always push off the money conversation to the tail end. And I remember going back, so I'm going to have you salespeople do some experimenting between now and the next video. And here's what I want you to start doing. But first, let me explain it. So I used to put off the discussion about money. And there's an old saying in sales that goes something like this: he who talks about money first loses. So we were always told in sales, in those sales trainings, that you don't bring up the money conversation, you wait for your prospect to bring it up. And that indicates that they're ready to buy, was the philosophy. Well, depending on what you sell, what your product and or service is, today, in these uncertain times, I'm going to be doing some change-ups in my sales process, and I'm going to encourage you to do the same, and let me know how it goes. Maybe alternate back and forth. Again, depending upon the product or service that you are offering. Of course, I'm in the heating and air conditioning business, so I design heating and cooling systems for residential and commercial. Being that people today have a lot of anxiety and are anxious, I asked myself the question, Mike, why wait until the very, very end? When you go somewhere and you're looking at a product, and let's say it doesn't have the price on it, I don't know about you, but it drives me crazy. I want to know that price. Even if I'm just looking at it, I'm not sold on it, maybe I'm not ready to purchase, I just want to see what it is. If I see it's too much right off the get-go, I'm going to move on and maybe look at a different product or a different service if it doesn't fit in my budget. So let's think about this a minute. So typically, I would, during my diagnose phase, that could be anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours long on a typical sales call that I have been going on in this business for about 20 years now. And I'm just sitting there thinking, so these poor people, the moment they meet me, they have this anxiety, this question mark in their head. right off the bat, how much is this going to be? And I can do all these wonderful options that I talk about, all the bells and whistles, finding all these problems, and get to the end, and guess what? Even if I offer options, it could be way out there, way more than they thought. And I remember sales calls, and I know you guys have too, where your prospect will immediately start asking, how much is this? What is the average price? Can you give me a ballpark? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to experiment and just try this a few times. Discuss the money in the beginning. So let's flip this around and have fun. And I used to do this, so for some of you this may be a challenge. What we need to do is we need to find out what, let's call it bracket or option, low to high, your prospect is going to fit in. So let's say I have just a general feel of the home. It's early on. I'm just kind of getting to know the prospect. They're getting to know me. And instead of walking around and begin the designing of the system, it's just like you go to buy a car. And I was back many years ago, I sold RVs over in Western Washington. And oftentimes I remember asking right up front, what kind of budget are we working with? And people would share that. And I knew, say 10 to 15,000, okay, I need to be taking these folks to trailers, campers that are in the 10 to 15,000 range. Sure, I can think, okay, they probably can handle 15 to 20, but they said 10 to 15,000, so that's kind of where I need to be. So let's go along that wavelength of determining what the range is, the low to high. Now, when we determine that early on, and we're doing our diagnose and prescribe, you are investigating, looking for problems, finding needs. When you get to the prescription phase, now you can offer the options that I taught you. And how you would do it is offer those options within that 10 to 15, maybe bump a little over if needed. But you'll have your basic product and you're going to give maybe 3 to 4 different options within that range. So you're going to have your base product that's affordable, and then you're going to have some features or benefits that you have discovered and give those options along with it. So maybe just the bare bones is going to hit the 11 to 12,000. You'll have a couple other options there that solve more needs that you've discovered or fix some problems that you've discovered. And you're just going to kind of work your way up. Another benefit I'm seeing with this now is that it may help prevent your prospects from shopping you or saying, hey, we're out getting bids or we need to get another estimate. Because if you've determined the budget that you're working with and you provide options within that budget, my guess is that may satisfy, if they trust you, that may satisfy their inner desire to get more bids, get more estimates. And our close rates can climb. So I can't wait. I'm going to try this out and really do it. maybe for the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and see how it goes. Because I think with the signs of the times that we're in, and this anxious, worrying, uneasy society, let's not drag people through the whole process with the big question mark and all that anxiety that they have to carry. Let's just create the relationship, get rid of the money stuff in the beginning. Let's just flip this around and have a good time. So, because we don't want the defensive shield, the money, let's say money is the question, go from the moment you meet your prospect all the way through now, and they're still wondering, how much is this? What's this going to cost? Oh no, we don't have any money, and take it all the way to the end. Let's just nail this in the beginning now and see how it goes. So that question mark is now removed early on. Let me know how it goes. Send me an email, Mike TheSalesDoctor at proton.me, Mike TheSalesDoctor at proton.me. So thank you for watching. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on the next video.